right, in human resources. I was seated at the back, but you see, I was so consumed with the vision of being in HR that I did not even know when I shouted, "You say what?" Everybody turned around looking at me and wondering, "What's wrong with you?" We all heard her. The woman looked at me and she replied, "I said, there's a vacancy for one guy in human resources." I looked at this woman intently. I smiled confidently and I nodded my head appropriately. Ladies and gentlemen, little did I know that singular gesture left an impression. That lady left there asking, "Who is that guy?" By the time I was done in training school, I ended up getting posted to the human resources department. I was curious. Why did you guys pick me out of everybody in training school? And they told me there was a day that the head of HR came to training school and she came back to the office saying, "Who is that guy?" And you see, this brings me to my second point. You see, in life, every day, an opportunity is either coming your way or passing you by. The question is, number one, will you recognize the opportunity? Because sometimes opportunities come dressed as problems. Will you recognize the opportunity? Will you be ready for the opportunity? I was ready for that moment, and that's why I blurted out, "You say what?" Because it is better for you to be ready for an opportunity and not have one than for you to have an opportunity and not be ready for it. The third thing is, will you respond to opportunity? All that thing of being shy, shyness doesn't take you anywhere. They say a closed mouth is a closed what? Destiny. I opened my mouth wide that day, and my opening my mouth got me human resources. So remember the second point. It is important that you recognize, you are ready, and you respond to opportunity. So I got the opportunity to work in human resources in the bank, right? Fast forward a few years, I began to feel that baby on the inside of me leap again. Bankole, you did not come to banking to just be a banker. You want to be a consultant. So at some point in my career, I decided that, hey, I was going to make the bold move to leave, banking to become a consultant. I understudied, arguably to me, the best person in consulting. I understudied for a period, and eventually I set up my own consulting practice. Now, as I started consulting, I needed to do business with banks. So I started to pitch to different banks. There was a particular bank that I had been knocking on their door to do business with them for close to 3 years. Eventually, I get the opportunity to run a training for them on emotional intelligence. I committed my life to delivering a great experience for the participants. The feedback was fantastic. So I then decided to go and say thank you to the people who gave me the opportunity. So I went back to the HR of that bank that had gotten the opportunity to do business with, to say thank you to the staff there. And then I proceeded to say thank you to the head of that department. So I went to her office, and unknown to me, she did not know that they had given me work. They started giving me, made me a consultant with them. So I went to her office to say thank you. And for some weird reason, I don't know why, this woman sized me up. I think it must have been because I was very young, and I was already a consultant. Whereas people who had been trying to do it for years had not gotten the opportunity. I remember walking into her office, and the woman, I told her, "Oh, madam, thank you for the opportunity. I'm now a consultant with the organization." And she looked at me, she said, "Who gave you that work?" She looked at me from head to toe, sized me up, opened her drawer, and brought out some documents from Harvard and Cranfield and tossed it at me. She said, "These are the sorts of organizations that we do business with. That if you want to succeed in this, your career as a consultant, I will advise that you go and partner with these people. Get out of my office." Ladies and gentlemen, I went to say thank you and they removed food from my table. All through the period that that woman worked in that organization, not once was I called back. I went to say thank you, and that was the last time while she was there that I did business with the organization. I left that place crying. I had spent 3 years knocking on this door. The door opens, I go to say thank you, and it closes in front of me. I left that place and I was wondering if I was truly called to speak for a living. I questioned my identity, and I began to think to myself, maybe I should go back to my 9 to 5. Maybe I'm not really good at this thing that I am talking about. And you see, right there in the midst of all of this woe, I heard a voice on the inside tell me, Bankole, several people gave you great feedback, and one person said one thing, and then you have decided that you are going to go back. I knew that that moment was either going to be a make or break moment for me. So I made a resolution in my heart, and I resolved from that day that I will never in my life let rejection define me, but I would let rejection refine me. Did you hear what I said? To never let rejection define you, but let rejection refine you. Guys, in the course of life, you will encounter rejection. In this world, there will be plenty trials and tribulation. The question is, what will you do? I made a resolution that day. I said, never will I ever find myself in a position where someone will look at me and question my competence. That rejection became fear. I worked on myself. I worked on building a name. I made sure that I was the best at what it was that I was doing, because it was fear to me. And I decided that never in my life will I find myself in such a position that somebody will look me in the eye and tell me stuff like this. I will make my name great. And guys, guess what? See that bank that I walked to, and that lady rejected me today. That organization is one of my biggest clients today. That lady no longer works in that organization. Not only did I train their staff, I trained their executives in that organization. I didn't let the rejection define me. I made sure that it refined me. I used it as fuel. Fast forward a few years from that point, I'd become successful as a consultant. I'd started consulting for no less than 12 banks, right, in the country, consulting for international organizations like the World Bank, Google, doing well. At a point in time in my journey, I decided, hey, I needed to get an executive assistant. I had one who had left, but I needed to replace that person. So I told my staff, to put out a call for CV. And I don't know how this lady got my email, because that was not the direct email that was shared. But I received an email from a lady, a third-year student of Babcock University, that made me stop in my tracks. Now, let me help you understand, right? There are emails that you receive and you just gloss over them. But there are emails that you receive and you pause and you wonder, what manner of individual is this? Now, let me paraphrase this email that this lady sent to me. She said, I'm a third-year student of law and jurisprudence in Babcock University. I have a 4-month holiday, a ridiculously long time to be at home doing nothing. I saw the advert for an executive assistant, and I know you want to hire somebody who has finished their NYS, but you see, I know I'm a student, but I promise you that if you take me, I will work twice as hard as anybody that you could ever consider hiring. And to prove that I am this competent, I have registered for this conference that you are organizing. And I would love to volunteer to work with you so that you can validate my competence. Not only that, I believe that you will take me. And when you take me, after my 4 months, right, because of the value that I will bring to the organization, there's the likelihood that you will miss me when I leave. So in order to ensure that I don't leave a void, I will recruit somebody equally as competent as me, right, to fill the role. Here are my details. I look forward to hearing from you. I want to ask you a question. If you were me, will you not hire her? I said, a 300 level student, right? See, no jokes. Her name is Mercy Familusi. You can Google her. I said, a 300 level student writing like this? I said, see, I will hire you. I interviewed her. Wonderful student. She ended up being my executive assistant, and true to her word, brought tremendous value as a student. Today, she runs a fashion outfit in Abuja that is doing phenomenally well, right? And you see, that experience hits me because she's someone who I'm very close to, someone who has added incredible value to my life. But what got my attention was that this lady was not at home chilling. And this brings me to my 4th point. The miracle is not at home. The miracle is on the road. Stop waiting for something to happen, for them to come and call you. You had better get on the road and seek out that opportunity to get jobs. Seek out that opportunity to add value. Let me tell you something. I believe that we are all Christians here, or most of us are Christians here. See, let me tell you. Go and check everybody that Jesus recruited. All of them were busy. There was nobody that was chilling at home. They were all doing something. So don't tell me that there are no jobs. There is work. Find work and plug yourself. Find somebody who is excelling in that field that you want to go into, right? And send them a compelling message like this, and go and serve. Go and understudy. Even if they are not going to pay you, go and volunteer. Be the first person to resume. Be the last person to leave. Be the most hardworking staff. And tell me if after 3 months they would not say, you cannot go anywhere. Do you understand what I'm saying? Stop waiting for things to happen. Start making things happen for yourself in your life. There's a gentleman, some of you know him. His name is Ike Osakiodua. Ike and I were in the University of Lagos together. I know this story personally. Ike was going to radio stations as a student of the University of Lagos, knocking on doors, telling them, guys, I am really gifted and good at this thing that I am doing, right? And they weren't willing to recruit him. He went to Reading FM every day. He would go there, resume there. They said, we don't have any jobs, up until the day that somebody resigned and there was a vacancy for him, and he got the one opportunity that has changed his entire life today. Guys, the miracle is not at home. Find somebody excelling in the field that you want to venture into and add value to their lives, right? Go and serve. Some things are taught, but some things are caught. Just by being around them, you will receive ideas as to how to activate your own dream. Have you ever been in the presence of a white person before, or a Caucasian, and you are speaking to them and you started to speak Fone? Has that happened to you before? It's not like you plan to switch to speak Fone. You just notice that your accent changed. Why? Because they rubbed off on you. By being in the presence of somebody who has excelled in what it is you want to excel in, I am telling you, they will rub off on you. Ideas will come on how to navigate. You will receive insight. Something will jump on you that will make you successful. The problem is that most people, if you ask them, name 5 people that are closest to you, all the 5 people look like them, let me tell you, friends with a common past is good, but friends with a common future is way better. If all your friends are like you will keep producing you. Better find people who have excelled and plug yourself to them. Add value, even if they're not going to pay you. Right? Do it for a period, and I'm telling you, you will learn something. You will receive insight that can truly transform your life. As I round up, I want to finalize with the 4 points which I have stated today. Number 1, frustration and fascination are what? Direction. Pay what? Attention. Number 2, it is important that you recognize you are ready and you respond to opportunity. Number 3, right? Never let rejection define you. Let rejection do what? Refine you. And the final one, the miracle is not at home. The miracle is on the road. Thank you very much.
A resounding round of applause for Mr. Bankole Williams. You can do better than that. Come on, you can do better. You can do better.
One more time, can we appreciate Bankole, please? Let's be seated. Let's be seated. A few years ago, I'm talking about myself and my wife, we wanted to sell our apartment. And then one of the realtors brought someone who wanted to buy our flat. It was Bankole Williams. And we started talking. And the more I talked with him, I spoke with him, I asked him what he does. And he told me. It never left my brain. And I learned a lesson that day. When people talk to you, you must leave an impression. Don't be boring. Because once you are boring, they forget you. People move on. You have to leave an impression. Eventually, we sold the house to him. But I never forgot what he said about what he does. So for several years, we were not in contact. I had moved to another place, and he was there, and we were thinking about this conference. And I said, oh my goodness, you know what? It would be nice to ask Bankole to be part of this conference. I haven't spoken to him in like 4 or 5 years. And then suddenly, the week I was thinking that, he texted me. He said, Pastor T, I saw you at Covenant Nation. That was a good one. Congratulations. How are you doing, sir? I called him. I said, Bankole, where have you been? I said, I was thinking about you. And now you texted me. And that's how he came here. Why I'm saying this is that apart from what we do, we have to realize that relationship matters. And it's that relationship that has brought them to this platform. So when we are living here, or maybe it's a break time, don't do a Lone Ranger. You'll be shocked. The people that you just don't pay attention to might be the one that will give you a platform. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please, one more time, let's appreciate Bankole Williams.
Thank you very much, sir. Just to add just a bit to what Bankole Williams said. And he said, look for somebody excelling at the highest level and go and serve. I know some people might be thinking, oh, I reach out to them, they don't respond to me. If these people have written books, they have videos, you can start from there. A very good example is my story. I never used to do this. In fact, I was a very, very shy kid. However, I remember back in, I think, 2016 or 2017-ish, I was talking to a cousin of mine, and she asked me what I wanted to do in the future. And I responded, I said, I want to be like Ike Osakio-Dua, one of the best, greatest MCs in Nigeria, Africa, arguably. And this is what I did. I went to YouTube and I watched every video that I could find of him. Every. From the one he did at Big Brother to comedy nights, every interview I could find, I watched. I looked for all the radio presenters at the time. Bemi, Tools, Shegun, OC. I watched every video that I could find. And I practiced as much as possible and rehearsed in front of as many people as possible. The last IK Talks, or the first IK Talks that they ever had in Lagos, I was there. And I consume his materials on a daily basis from time to time. That is one place you can start. Look for materials, look for what they've written, things they've done. If they have an event, go to the event, volunteer, serve. That is one way to get closer and maximize your potential. We're taking this a step further to maximize our potential, right? And when you were coming in, you got a raffle, right? Do you still have it? If you have it, please wave. If you don't have it, just start crying. All right. Beautiful. So, can I have 3 delegates from Jesus House, Baltimore, upstage? Are you sure you have the raffle? If you have it, wave, wave, wave. If you don't have it, just scream. The Lord bless you. Did you register? And you don't have it? Somebody say Otilo. Or can we do anything to help them? Maybe the next one. All right. So we're going to be picking very randomly. What's the bag? Okay. We're going to be picking very randomly. This is not INEC. Yes. This is transparent. We are people of integrity. Pastor Tola Odutola is a man of timber, caliber, obeche, mahogany. You understand? And he's a man of integrity. So trust me when I say this is a thing of integrity, and it's very, very transparent. So we're waiting for the bag. It's going to be transparent. If you know how to speak in tongues, you better start. Shabaka. You better start. It can be you. Tell your neighbor if it be you. Please come. Please come. If it be you. Okay. Are you ready? 1. So they'll pick 1. Look at your number. You have 5 seconds. If you don't come out in 5 seconds, stand, wave, or shout. So pay what? Otilo. Beautiful. Yes, sir.
Please. Where are those who said they don't have the tickets? Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's no point doing this draw and you are sitting down. So you can go outside now because we are going to have 3 draws. Go and register your own. Don't sit. It doesn't matter. If you don't have this draw, go out and do it. So that when they are doing the next one, I talked about this.
So let's step out very gently. Very gently. Wow. Many were called. Few are still here. We'll do this first raffle. Can we go ahead with this one? Can we go ahead with this one? Okay. We'll wait for a signal. The panel of judges are debating your fate. And in a few minutes, we'll get an answer. Are we ready? We'll take this one. Okay. So we're going to do the raffle. Please look at your raffles very carefully. Transparent. The moment I call the number, Number 79, Temidayo Oluwatosin. Somebody say hallelujah. Praise Master Jesus. She prayed this morning. Okay. So hold on. Please come forward. Has she collected it? I think you should just stay at the corner so we can do a group picture at the end of the first raffle. So just stay there. All right. Next person. Please look at your raffle. All right. Number 199. Kike Lomo Alafe. Just stay at the corner. Yes. Kike Lomo Alafe. She's like, oh my goodness. Next person. Transparent. Number 155. Ige Opeyemi Mary. Is she here? Hallelujah! Glory! We have more ladies. Guys, what is going on? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob has to be your God at this moment. Okay, please hold on. Next. Number 05, Areo Dorcas. Areo Dorcas. Is she here? All right. Where are the guys? Let's pick another number. Yes, please. Go ahead. 1, 2. This is the fifth one. Number 203, Alao Ibrahim. 203. Lord, we bless you. For the man you've given to us, we thank you. Glory to God. This number 5. He's even working with teas. All right. Next one. All right. Next number. Number 50. Alabi Temitayo. Alabi Temitayo. Number 50. All right. Beautiful. Please run forward very quickly. Next. Once you hear your name, just run to the front. Number 11, Ogunkoya Adiola. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more. All right. All right. Number 129, Eroya Lesson Adebayo. Where are you? Number 129, 129. 2 more to go for this round. 2 more to go for this round. All right. Next number we have number 75, Ikeade Olaoye. Hey. Hallelujah. Final number. One more number. Final number. Thank you, Jesus. Number 92, David Young. Thank you, Jesus. 92, David Young. Oh, the percentage man. Oh. All right. A round of applause for everybody who won. Okay. All right. Are we ready for the next speaker? Part of the people not shouting are the people that didn't win. And it's okay. But we have 2 more raffles after this, so if you didn't win now, you can win again. But are we ready for the next speaker? Are we ready for the next speaker? Somebody say, grow with Rennie. Let me hear you say, grow with Rennie. I know a lot of you are fans of Rennie, right? All right. Her introduction will play. Please fix your gaze on the multimedia screen, and the next voice you'll hear will be Morenike Molain.
She's the founder and chief executive officer of Oak Antique Interiors, an award-winning brand recognized as one of the... Our next speaker is a visionary entrepreneur, global business leader, and a dedicated mentor. She's the founder and chief executive officer of Oak Antique Interiors, an award-winning brand recognized as one of the fastest-growing interior design companies in Africa. With over a decade of excellence, she has steered her company to market leadership, delivering high-end luxury residencies and 5-star hotels. Under her leadership, Oak Antique has expanded its footprints beyond Nigeria to Dubai, Rwanda, Ghana, nations for under-resourced schools and hospitals across Nigeria. As a champion for human capital development, she convenes the Grow with Rennie mentorship program and the annual Grow with Rennie live experiences, empowering thousands of young adults globally across career, business, and finance. Named as one of Africa's 100 most impactful women, named as one of Africa's 100 most impactful women founders, and a top 15 Nigerian interior designer redefining the industry, she joins us today to help you unlock your next level. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome to the MYP Conference 2026 with a massive...
You can do better. You can do better. A round of applause for Morenike Molain.
MYP shout, hello! Say, just give your neighbor a high five. Give your neighbor a high five. And if your neighbor wants something, just say, it will be me soon too. We did not win anything. God is going to help us. Amen? Don't what? Don't give up. You don't know, maybe your Range Rover is outside. That's what they will give us. Yeah? Do you believe? Fantastic. I'm so excited to be here in Ibadan today. I think it's my first time this year coming to Ibadan, and I really enjoyed my journey down here. I just want to say a big thank you to Pastor Tola. He had already casted me earlier and said that he's my uncle, by the way. My own dad is Tola Odutola, and he is Tola Odutola, and they are brothers. And it's such a huge privilege to be here today. And of course, my cousin Oyinda as well. So it's such a huge honor to be here in the midst of everyone. Please just say to your neighbor, I'm having a fantastic time. So I've been asked to speak on how to build a business from ground up. So it's giving. We started from the bottom, now we are here, and we thank God. Because I started my business about 13 years ago. Next week will be 13 years. If you want to clap, please clap. Because if you have heard of people that are doing business in Nigeria, you know that it's not easy. How many of us are doing business here? If you are doing a business, raise up your hand. If you've been doing business for at least 20 years, let me see your hands. You said, someone said, how old am I? I know, right? If you've been doing business for 10 years, raise up your hand. Okay. If you've been doing business for like 5 years, let me see. You are just starting. You just want to start. Let me see your hands up. Fantastic. And I know that, for everyone that is seated here, you might actually have started, or you're about to start, or it's something that you would eventually maybe do at some point. I would just like to quickly share, how I started my business, and some of the lessons that I have learned in the last 13 years. And I hope that it will be able to encourage somebody here today. So, if you listen to my bio, I'm not sure that they got to it, but I have 2 degrees in mathematics. And it's interesting because it wasn't as when I was growing up, when they asked me that what do you want to become in life, I would say I wanted to be a mathematician. There were the popular things like what? I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a pilot, I want to be an engineer. But now in this generation, things are already shifting, right? People now want to be what? Tech bros, tech sis, what else? Content creators, what else? I can't hear you. Influencers, in the media and all of that. So for me, it was failure that made me do mathematics. And I'll quickly share this story. It wasn't part of the plan. So, as the firstborn, right, I went to 3 secondary schools. They used me as guinea pig. I don't know if anybody can relate. So it was the 3rd secondary school that I went to, that my siblings now went to, and then they spent 6 years. For me, I was moving from one secondary school to another. So I got to this 3rd secondary school, and my very first term, which was in senior secondary school, SS1, my further mathematics, I got F9. So by the time I got home, can you guess what my father did to me? Can you guess? Can anybody guess? He beat the hell out of me. He said, how would you feel? But one thing that he did to me, and I'm forever grateful for him. As soon as he finished beating me and I finished crying, he then sat me down and said that, I know you and I know your potential. I know that if you put your heart to this thing, you would actually pass it. And at the time I was crying and I was like, what's this man saying? You just finished beating me. Which kind of motivational speech is this one? But for some reason, I believed it. But I knew that for me to move from F9 to even getting maybe like a C, I had to change my strategy. There were things that I was doing before that wasn't working. But I knew that for me to move from F9 to even getting maybe like a C, I had to change my strategy. There were things that I was doing before that wasn't working. Now, if I wanted to turn my story around, I needed to change my strategy. Because that they said that if you keep repeating the same thing that you used to do, and you're getting the same results, you're not wise. So, next term, I changed my friends. I was like, who are the people that are getting A's in this thing? And then I started, rolling with them, started studying. And anyways, cut long story short, I went, became top 3 in my class. Then when I was going to do my 2nd degree, I chose mathematics again. And then you can imagine after all of this mathematics, I came back to Nigeria and I said I wanted to do interior design. Thankfully, my dad didn't think that I was crazy. But I'd already gotten married by the time I was starting my business. So I remember, I just gotten married, we did up our space, and people would always come to the house, compliment how beautiful the home was. And I used to wonder why it was such a big deal, because in my mind, I'm thinking, if you're living somewhere, your house is supposed to be beautiful. But then I realized that most times what happens is that we normally take for granted the things that come easily and natural to us. And so you have a friend right now that is telling you that, oh, guy, you're very good at speaking, you're very good at doing this thing, you're very good when it comes to, maybe putting things together, like your clothes. You can be a, fashion influencer. You can be this, you can be that. But because it comes natural to you, you think that, everybody can do it. There's some people that if they should cook jollof rice and if you should eat it, you can give your life to Christ. Like, you'll be like, what? But then it comes natural to you and you don't think that you can do it as a business. I'm not saying that everything that you're passionate about, you then have to turn it into a business. But I'm saying that there are certain things that some people are here, they've been thinking for a long time, what business do I do? What should I go into? You can first ask the people that are around you and say, what do you think I am great at? Because sometimes you might be limited, you might not be able to see it. And so what are the things that I have learned in my 13 years? 13 years is a teenager, right? Teenager. So it's a grown business. And one of the things that I know is that, aside from building, your business should also create impact. So as you're going into your business, and there's something that Onyida said earlier, she kept hammering on it, and that's the first thing that I would say, is knowing your why. It's so, so important. Life is challenging, businesses are challenging, policies can change. Somebody in Aso Rock can say something right now that can shut your business, your industry down. So as you're going into your business, you need to understand your why. Now, I think that there are two kinds of people that go into business. Those people that just want to survive, right? You want your daily 2K, your daily bread, things that will just make you live a decent life, which is fine, it's not bad, but you actually just need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? The second category of people that do businesses are people that want to live a life of impact. So through your businesses, other businesses are flourishing, other lives are flourishing. And so when you are thinking from that mindset, the way that you do business will be different. If you know that lives are dependent on your business, then the way that you would think about it, the way that you will plan for it will be different. Beautiful lives for other people as well. So I want you to ask your neighbor, for those that are already doing business, where do you see your business in the next 10 years? I want you to ask your neighbor, where do you see your business in the next 10 years? My second lesson that I've learned in my 13-year journey will be, small beginnings are a blessing. Now, I understand that there's so many people that immediately you start your business like this, you want to blow. How many people want to blow? All of us now, we want to. Okay, you don't want to blow. As you're starting like this, you're already thinking, you know what, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, I'm supposed to have already gotten my first car, I'm supposed to have gotten my first house, and all of that. While that is beautiful, I always say that it is so great to have small beginnings and grow organically. If I'm to start another company now and I'm given 2 choices, the first choice, to start organically and learn from my mistakes, or to immediately get like $100 billion contract now, as in a business that I'm just starting, best believe I would choose the former. And you might think that, what do you mean by that? Because it's easier to learn from when you make mistakes when it's small than when it is, big. I quickly share one story. So when I was starting my interior design business, I did some small projects here and there, maybe like in the first 3 months. So I'd been disturbing my dad. I said, Dad, because you have to disturb your family members first. Like you disturb your family members, your friends. How can I be doing business and my family members, they're not patronizing me? So I think for like 3 months, I kept on telling my dad, okay, let me just do 1 room in your house. Let me just do 1, so that at least I can show people that I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. So later on, it was like, okay, this girl, before she will kill me, let me just allow her. So he gave me the contract to do up his bedroom. But as I started, my younger sister, she was like, oh no, I can't just do our dad's room, that I also have to do our own room. I was like, yes, that's great. As we were still having that discussion, my mom was like, no, you know what? I think that I'm already tired of this kitchen. I'm already tired of my working. Anyways, cut long story short, I was renovating the entire house, which was a big deal, yes? Yes? It was such a big deal because I was like, oh wow, like how many, I'm like less than 1 year in this business and I'm already getting such a big project like this. Now, this was about like 10, 11 years ago. No, so this was like about 11, 12 years ago, yes. At the time, when I was doing my finances and all that, I calculated and I told my dad that the invoice for doing the entire, that the entire invoice was, I think, 1.5 million naira. I think it was like 3 weeks or 4 weeks into the project that I realized that I spent, not that I spent, but because I had vendors and people that I could take things on credit, by the time I realized all the monies that I was owing, it was over 10 million naira. You shouted Abi. This was 10 years ago. This time around, dollar was, I don't know if you remember how much dollar was. Dollar was still like less than 250 naira at that time. So this was big money. So I said, yay, I'm in trouble today. So I just told my daddy that, Dad, please, have you eaten? So yeah, I've eaten anything. I said, oh yeah, are you happy? Like, is everything okay with you? Hope nobody stressed you today. I said, what's up? I said, I used to talk to you. Like, there is an emergency. He said, what happened? So I sat down and I began to tell him that, see, look, at the moment, I'm inside 10 million naira debt and we've not even finished the project. And my dad just said, because you're my daughter, I believe you. I believe that you will not want to scam me. But you know what? Next time, you have to do your proper accounting. You need to check and all of that. And so he was gracious enough to bail me out from that condition, from that situation. But you know what that taught me? 10 years, I've never lost in business. If you want to clap, you can clap. Because now I count my cost with that mindset of knowing that, because if I was a stranger, no, sir, if I came to meet you now and I said, sir, I made mistake of 10 million naira, will you answer me, sir? You will not answer me, sir. And that's how some people just, because that will just kill the business. It will be dead on arrival. So again, you need to start small, and understanding that starting small is a blessing. Right? So, the next lesson will be excellence is non-negotiable. And I know that you hear this all the time. Excellence, 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 excellence. Because if you want to build a business that is successful, then excellence is non-negotiable. If you have to redo a product, you have to redo it. If you have to re-render a service, you would have to re-render it. Right? And what is excellence? We keep hearing excellence. Excellence is literally doing ordinary things, that extraordinarily every single time. If you have to review your processes, if you have to review your structure, if you have to train, you have to train. Right? Get feedback from people. So I remember there was a particular client that I had many, many years ago. So they had called me, they had reached out to me through Instagram, and they said they wanted to do their baby nursery. So I said, okay, no problem, that's fine. So I did the baby nursery. As I got into the house, I saw the baby nursery. So it was a rented apartment. And the client had said, this is the budget for this baby nursery. They had other things. They were going to go and give birth abroad and all that. So they just had a very decent budget. So, but then when I got into the house, I realized that there was a wardrobe. It was an old house that they had rented somewhere in Surulere in Lagos. And the client said to me, I don't have the funds to change this wardrobe. That's number one. Number two, I feel like if I change this wardrobe, my landlord will increase my rent. How many of us can relate to stories like that, where you go and touch landlord's house? Things will you just realize that your rent has multiplied by double. So I looked at the situation and I said, see, look, if I renovate the entire room and leave this wardrobe, it will stand out. It will show that something is off. So I had two options. And at the time, my profit on the job was about 25,000 naira at the time. And the cost of redoing that wardrobe was about 23,000 naira. Now, the client has said they are not going to do it. Now, I had two options. It's either me too, I look away, and nobody's going to be upset, or I redo that wardrobe. What option will you take? Will you? Okay. For those that will redo, and that means that your profit on the entire project should not be how much? 2K. If you will redo, raise up your hand. If you will look away with your full chest, raise up your hand. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know what I did? I redid it. I was like, but it was painful. Because imagine working on a project. Long story short, I went for the consultation. On this is friend's house. My brothers and my sisters. That's where I now made millions. Because I said, you know what? That 2K that I made, this your friend, he will pay for it. He will pay. And the guy was not even married. He was not married, no have children. So he did not have responsibilities. I was there to enjoy the money. So I billed him with my full chest. Guess what? By the time he now, we did his own house, he invited people for housewarming. People came. About 10 people collected my contacts. About 2 people called me. One of them, he called me and he said, that he just bought a house in Lekki. And all this while, I was only doing, I don't mean to say this, but if you are familiar with Lagos, I was only doing houses on the mainland. So this was my first job. The guy said, I just bought a 4-bedroom duplex in Lekki with BQ. Are you available? I said, what am I doing with my life? Of course, I'm available. I will be available. So anyways, cut long story short, did that one again. People came to visit, and the rest is what? History. So I paint this picture to say that excellence, you might think that redoing something or the cost of excellence is expensive. But guess what? Mediocrity is more expensive. You will pay for it in the long run. So it's better for you to just ensure that anything that you do, as long as you have committed to collecting money and in exchange for value, always deliver. Deliver your words, your polling units. Wow. So the fourth lesson that I've learned, build systems. And I'll quickly share. In the early years, I did everything myself. I was the accountant, I was the customer care, I was the driver, I was social media, influencer. I was every single thing. But I knew that was just a time. It was a season. Because there are times where you need to think about it and say, okay, you know what? This time, I don't have the resources, but I will do all of this, knowing fully well that there will be a time when we now have the resources to delegate to people. But you already start thinking, you already start having that mindset that, you already have people around you. I remember when I just started my business, I had a full organogram that showed, oh, this is the CEO, this is the CMO, this is the head of operations, these are all the departments. I put everything there. And as the business began to grow, we began to fill those roles. And today, we are better for it. Because as you're working, you need to work hard, work smart. So the fifth lesson will be setbacks are part of the journey. I'm sure that we've had, we've seen situations whereby a project might flop. I've been doing this for 13 years, so best believe there are times when projects are going in a way that you are thinking, what exactly is happening, right? Or something happened. Somebody has already promised you a contract. In fact, you've already gone to price. See, they are giving us iPhone and laptop. Is the laptop they are giving us today? There's some businesses that they will tell you that you're about to get. That, oh, just send your account details. You already started pricing. Pricing what? Pricing cars, pricing rishi. So there are setbacks, but will you allow that to deter you? No. There are situations where I have been on a project where if I didn't have a resilient mindset, I would have packed my bag and gone. I want to quickly ask you a question. Between tailors and carpenters, who is worse? I did not, I'm so sorry. I didn't come here to cause fights. I'm going to ask again. Between tailor and carpenter, who is worse?